Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. My Lewis back at you yet with another video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about how every single tip and strategy and technique in personal development is not meant for you. Alright, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification icon so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you're watching this on Instagram, there will be a link in my bio so you guys can go ahead and check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So yes, not every tip that you hear about personal development is really meant to be applied into your life. So as you may know, or maybe you don't know, maybe you're just a starter in this personal development area. There is a lot of people on YouTube and everywhere really online that are trying to teach you personal development. They're trying to teach you strategies, tips, and techniques, and possibly even the people around you are trying to, advise you and tell you like you should do this with your life, you should do the other thing with your life. I heard this from this other person and everything, and all these things, right? And the thing is that at some point it starts to become a little bit overwhelming and you don't even know like which advice, which tip, which technique is actually useful and which one is not. Because for the most part, what happens is that you hear about personal development from somewhere, maybe it could be from this channel here, or it could be from some other person's channel, or perhaps you read it on a book, or perhaps you hear it from somebody, and you go and you try to apply it, and then what happens is that it doesn't really work. And then because it doesn't work, you get that feedback that, oh, this personal development thing isn't really for me, and so you sort of like quit on it, or you postpone it, or you just stop doing it for a little while. And the thing is that it's nobody's fault really. It's not your fault, and it's not the content creator's fault, because you see, every single person who creates content within personal development, they create it for their specific audience, so the tips that you hear, they're not all applicable to you. So there's personal development content that's meant to be specifically for people in their 20s, then there's for people in their 30s, then there's personal development specifically for people who are starting businesses, and then there's personal development specifically for athletes and for authors and for social media content creators and for YouTubers. And it's just crazy, like the amount of information that's out there, it is insane, and to some degree, like it's all good. And I myself have actually indulged in all personal development, whether it comes from a book, from online courses, from YouTube, from blogs. I've studied it all. And let me tell you something, it's really cool. Like I enjoy it, but that's because, that's my passion. But for someone who's looking for results, for someone who's looking to improve their lives right now, they want to make a change right now, this is probably not the most conceivable way to do it. To go out there and start to, start grabbing information and nuggets from here and there and trying to apply everything, because it's just not right. It's just not conceivable, and it's just not healthy. You don't want to go that route, because it can get extremely confusing, because you see, you have a tip for here, you have a tip here, and then like you don't know which one is going to work and which one is not. So you decide to apply one first, and at the end of the day, it's sort of like a guessing game. You're sort of just trying to guess which one's going to work and which one is not. And I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid you going through that process. So I'm going to give you my tip here as to, how can you avoid this. So first of all, you need to know yourself. You need to know exactly where do you currently find yourself, all right? So you need to know your demographics. So what are you? Are you a guy or are you a girl, Because personal development content is going to be very, very different for a guy and for a girl. Sure, at some point, the personal development content does cross over, and at some point, to some degree, you can say that it's very similar. But the thing is that it's not about it like, being similar that's causing the issue here. It's the fact that the personal development content is delivered in very different ways. And so while it may be the same content, it may be similar, it's not delivered the same way. And the thing is that if it doesn't penetrate you, if you don't understand that personal development content to the core, if it doesn't make sense in there, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna listen to this content, you're gonna feel good after listening to it, but then after, your life is gonna continue being the same, and you're not gonna apply anything, and nothing's gonna change, and that's ineffective personal development content for you, because it's not helping you take action, and that's really what it has to do. It has to help you take action. And so if this personal development content is not helping you do that, then it's not for you. So you have to understand your demographic. So are you a guy or are you a girl? Once you know that, you gotta look at your age range. Are you in your 20s? Are you in your 30s? Are you in your 40s? Once you've decided that, now you have to establish a specific purpose with your personal development endeavors. Like, what exactly do you want out of personal development? And make sure that when you pick this, it's something big. Don't be like, oh, I just want to stop being lazy. Because stop being lazy. Here's the thing about personal development. When you fix one thing, you can't just ignore all the other things. So let's take laziness, for example. If you want to change your laziness routine, you don't want to be as lazy anymore, then you have to start thinking about, like, why do you not want to be lazy anymore? Because essentially, why wouldn't you? I mean, I have had many instances where I want to be lazy and I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit back, maybe lay in bed and just, watch some cartoons, watch some movies, and not really put in any hard work. But I don't do that. Or at least not as often. I do it once in a while because I need to wind down. But the reason why I don't do it very often is because I have a purpose. And so part of combating laziness is creating a purpose, but not just a purpose, an inspiring purpose, a purpose that inspires you. Every time you think about this purpose, you want to have like that glimpse in your face, that happiness has to surge within you, and be like, holy shit, the day that, X and Y happens and my purpose is accomplished, that's gonna be beautiful. It has to be really inspiring like that. And so you see, by you trying to deal with laziness, now you're gonna have to go and watch content that's gonna help you create such a purpose that inspires you and everything, and that involves its own little techniques and everything. Now, another thing you're gonna have to study now, because you're trying to develop a purpose. In order for you to achieve that purpose, you need to be able to establish a set of goals along the lines, And so now you have to get into goal setting. And then in order for you to hit those goals, you're going to have to develop something called discipline. And now you have to get into discipline and knowing how to discipline yourself in order for you to hit your goals every single time. And then once you do that, then you're going to need something called willpower, which is going to help you thrive, here and there when the challenges arise along your journey towards accomplishing your purpose. You're going to need some willpower, because sometimes, things are going to get really tough. You're going to have to overcome this really huge challenge. So you need this, you're going to have to accumulate a series of goals in order for you to gain such willpower, so that when the challenge comes, you're ready to hit that head on, And so now you're getting into willpower. And of course, you got to keep your purpose alive. In order to keep it alive, because, it involves such hard work that at some point, you may be doing this hard work, and then this purpose starts to sort of fade. You're like, oh man, like, it's so much work, I have to sacrifice this and have to sacrifice that. And then, so you need to learn how to stay motivated along the journey. So motivation is another thing you're going to have to study. And now that I mention it, you also have to learn how to cope with your sacrifices, because making sacrifices along your journey is going to be painful, it's going to be rough, and you're not going to like it. So you're going to have to learn how to deal with you creating sacrifices, how, quitting specific things, removing addictions maybe, because you may have addictions right now in your life that are preventing you from actually going out there and executing. And you might even have to learn some time management, because now you need to learn how to manage your time. That way you actually do hit your goals, instead of spending your time with friends or spending it playing video games and stuff like that. Not that those things are bad or anything, but you need to learn how to actually manage those, so that you do those when you actually can afford the time to do them, and not actually compromise on your purpose in order to go and hang out with your friends and stuff like that. So that is my point. I hope you guys understood all that. I know it got a little bit complicated there, but you see what I mean. Like, you can't, once you start personal development, you can't just stop at one topic. You're gonna have to go all in, because there's just so many things that people don't consider when they're trying to start personal development. Some people even do it just because they want to feel motivated, they want to feel positive and stuff like that. Look, positivity is one of the hardest things to accomplish. Hardest things. Like, I don't know. There's people out there who think like achieving positivity is something that just comes natural and it's like easy, and you can just easily, think about positivity and you're gonna be positive. No, no. All right. Positivity is a challenge, and it's something you have to work at every single day, all right? Because you see, there's days where it's just gonna get rough, it's just gonna get really, really crazy, and you're gonna want to feel a little bit negative, and it's just not gonna be good. And so feeling positive is hard work in of itself. So the thing is that, and when you get into positivity, then you have to learn things about like embracing the negative spectrum. You have to, because usually if you want to pursue positivity, is usually because you want to run away from negativity, and that's a very like unhealthy way of pursuing positivity, actually, because running away from something, that really comes down to, the two fundamentals of why people even do things in the first place. It's either for desperation or inspiration. So you want to be pursuing positivity from a place of inspiration, from a place of like, I love to feel positive, because feeling positive allows me to think more straight. It allows me to have it allows me to tap into my higher self thinking, which is, the self thinking that's involved with the purpose, and that's involved with thinking big and doing really big things, and really pushing yourself to, beyond your limits, and really tapping to the fullest potential. In case you didn't know what the selves are, there's the lower self, which is just all about pleasure, about doing the minimal things to maintain your survival. Then there's the middle self, which is this is like your day-to-day type of deal. It's a little bit higher than that, but your middle self is really the one that's worried about, you got to take care of the bills, you got to go to work, you got to get, certain responsibilities, and then the higher self is the one that's really the one that invests into the future, the one that does things because, this is where your maximum creative side resides, where you start doing the crazy shit, where you start doing things that don't even make sense, but you have hopes that it's going to work out. And so you need to learn about those things, once you start to embrace positivity, because positivity allows you to tap into that higher self. If you don't have positivity, then most likely you're going to stay in these lower self and middle self stages, where you're pretty much the average person at that point, because you're really just fulfilling your own like pleasure down here on the lower self, and in the middle self you're sort of like maintaining yourself, running. You're doing the basic things. You go to work, you pay your bills, and you do the minimalistic things, and there's really no risk involved, in the lower self and the middle self. It's just pretty much you playing it safe, and you sort of just surviving. And the higher self is where you take the big risks, and you really compromise everything from the lower and the middle self in order to achieve something better for yourself. So it's crazy. Even right now, you just heard me talk about all these topics, and it's just insane. So here's the thing I want you to understand, that, look, personal development, everything that you hear, all the information that you hear, it's not all going to apply to you. So you have to decide who you are. Are you a guy or a girl? What's your age range gap? And what do you want out of personal development? And so once you've decided those things, now it really just comes down to you going out there and doing your research and trying to find somebody who you resonate with, and that's giving you information that, once you find someone, whether it's online or whether it's a book, that helps you actually learn something, and then it actually propels you to take action, that is the type of information you need. That is the instructor you need, all right? That's who you want to listen to, because that person is going to help you take action, not just listen to them, but actually take action. And that's what you want. That's what I want for you. And so if this is me, like if I'm the person who's helping you out, I'm honored. All right. So this video got really long, so I'm just going to cut it off here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification icon. There will be some videos right here so you guys can watch more of my content. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.